My beloved child, you don't have to live in the shadow of what happened anymore. The weight of yesterday, the mistakes, the regrets, the pain you still carry deep inside, is not where your story ends. I see how you've been trying to keep going, even while a part of you is still stuck in a moment that broke your heart. But I am not a God who leaves his children trapped in the past. I am the God who redeems what was lost and restores what was broken. I know the thoughts that chase you when the world gets quiet. I know the scenes that replay in your mind, the things you wish you could undo, the words you wish you could take back, the times you wish you had chosen differently. And I know how hard it is to walk forward when the past whispers to you, you're still not free. But listen closely now. I am here, right now, whispering something truer, louder, and far more powerful than your past. I am whispering this into your spirit. I am lifting you from the shadows of yesterday. You were never meant to live shackled to old guilt, to yesterday's grief, or to failures that I already forgave. I never called you to define your worth by your wounds. You are more than your worst moments. You are mine. Let this moment be different. Let this be the moment you stop running from your past, and instead allow me to take your hand and walk you out of it. The same hand that calmed the storm, healed the leper, and raised the dead is reaching out to you now. You don't have to fight for freedom. I already won that battle. You don't have to prove yourself worthy. I already called you worthy when I formed you in the secret place. I saw every tear you cried behind closed doors. I felt your trembling heart when you tried to smile while broken. I heard the prayers you were too ashamed to speak aloud, and I didn't turn away, I drew nearer. You see, my love is not repelled by your pain. It is drawn to it. My mercy flows to the very places you've tried to hide from me. I want you to imagine this. You are standing in a dim valley. Around you are echoes of yesterday's shadows, fear, guilt, loss, shame. But on the horizon, light begins to rise. It's not from your strength. It's not because you earned it. It's because I am with you. The shadows tremble not at your name but at mine. And I am here to walk with you step by step into the brightness of now and the glory of what is coming. Let me speak directly to your soul. You are not too far gone. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are not disqualified because of the pain you endured. You are not beyond healing. You are not forgotten. You are becoming. And I, the Lord your God, who knit you together with purpose, am not done with you. Not even close. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to pretend it never hurt. You just have to trust me enough to take the next step out of the shadows and into the light I've prepared for you. My child, your pain has not been wasted. Every tear has watered the soil of a new beginning. Every sleepless night has been seen. Every quiet prayer has been received. And I am here to tell you, a new day is dawning and I am lifting you up. You are not forgotten in the crowd. You are not just another story lost in time. You are mine. I see you. I remember every detail of who you are, not just who you've become because of the hard things, but who I created you to be before the hurt, before the betrayal, before the silence. I want to take you back, not to relive the pain, but to rewrite the story, to touch the parts of your soul that have been frozen in time, to breathe life where you only see ashes, to awaken the beauty that shame tried to bury. Let me tell you something that I whispered when you were still being formed in the womb. This child is chosen. This child is beloved. This child will rise. And that is still true today. So pause, now just for a moment. Breathe in this truth. I am lifting you. Not because you are strong, but because I am faithful. Not because you did everything right, but because I never stopped loving you. Not because you earned it, but because grace has always been my way. Today is not just another page in your story, it's a turning point. And I am not just restoring what was. I'm building something brand new from it. So take my hand, my child. We're leaving the shadows behind. The light is waiting, and I am with you. My beloved, you may not realize how many shadows you've learned to live beneath. Some were cast by the world, its rejections, its harsh words, its impossible expectations. Others came from within, memories that won't let go, disappointments that sit heavy on your chest, choices you regret when the silence falls. But whether those shadows were thrown upon you or chosen by you, I want you to know one thing. You were never meant to live in the dark. You were created for light. My light. And even when you've wandered, even when you've clung to shame as if it were your identity, I never stopped seeing the beauty I placed in you from the very beginning. Some of the most painful chapters of your life didn't just bruise your heart, they reshaped the way you saw yourself. You stopped believing you were worthy of joy. You stopped believing you could be fully known and still fully loved. You told yourself, I've messed up too much. Or, maybe I don't deserve to heal. But, my child, let me speak this. With all the authority of heaven, your past does not disqualify you from my presence. It is the very place I step into to bring you home. I have never been afraid of your mess. Not once did I hesitate to draw near because of what you carry. If anything, my love runs toward the broken places, toward the wounded soul, toward the shadows where you thought no one would dare come close. Even now, as you hear my words, I am touching memories that you've buried. I'm not doing it to hurt you, but to heal you, to unchain you, to remind you that those shadows have no claim over you anymore. What once defined you will now be your testimony, not of how deep the pain was, but of how far my love reached to lift you out of it. Remember the woman at the well? She came thirsty, ashamed, isolated by her past. But I didn't scold her. I didn't shame her. I met her. I looked into her eyes and saw beyond what others whispered. I saw her story, and I gave her living water. That same living water flows for you. Do not believe the lie that you are too much or not enough, that you missed your moment, that the light is only for those who haven't stumbled. If that were true, I would have never gone to the cross, but I did. Willingly, knowingly, lovingly, because you are worth redeeming. You see shadows. I see your soul. You remember your failures. I remember your future. You measure yourself by what you've lost. I measure you by the price I paid to make you mine. And oh, what a price it was, paid not in silver or gold, but in blood and tears. That is how much you are loved. That is how much I desire to see you walking free. Not half free, not still dragging your chains behind you. Fully free, radiant in the light of grace. There are moments I've walked beside you while you wept in secret. There are nights I stood guard while darkness tried to consume you. You may not have seen me, but I was never absent. I was fighting battles on your behalf, in the realm of spirit, in the arena of your mind, in places you cannot yet see. Even now, my angels surround you. Even now, heaven watches over you, not to judge, but to cheer you forward. And I am whispering into the silence of your soul, you are rising. Keep going. The shadows are fading. I am not just offering comfort. I am offering transformation. I do not come to bandage wounds only. I come to heal. I come to restore the years the locusts have eaten. I come to give beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, praise instead of despair. Yes, the shadows have shaped you, but they do not own you. You are not the same person who first walked through the valley. You are wiser, stronger, softer in the right ways, sharper in others. You're beginning to understand that scars are not signs of weakness, but proof that healing happened. That you didn't stay down. That grace was greater. Let me remind you of what I placed inside you. A heart that still hopes, even when it's been broken. A light that flickers, but never dies. A voice that trembles, but still cries out to me. A faith that may be small, but I never needed it to be big, only present. You don't have to come to me whole. Just come to me honest. I'll take care of the rest. My light is not fragile. It will not flicker out when it meets your darkness, it will conquer it. When I say I am lifting you, I mean I am reaching into the very depths of what you thought could never be touched. The abandonment you faced as a child, the betrayal that cut you when you gave your heart in trust, the choices you made that led to pain, the prayers you gave up on because hope felt too hard. Nothing is off limits for my love. Let me into those places. Let me pour my healing oil over every memory that still stings. Let me sing over you with songs of deliverance and drape your shoulders with the robe of righteousness that no one can strip away. This is not just a moment of comfort, it's a shift. The old labels are falling off. The shadows are breaking, the lies are crumbling, and something holy is rising within you. My beloved, let's go deeper. Let's walk together through the very corners of your heart where even you hesitate to look. I know there are rooms you've closed off and corners you've kept in silence. You've placed warning signs in your mind. Do not enter. Too painful. Too messy. Too far gone. But I am not afraid of those places. I am not a distant God who loves only the polished parts of you. I am the God who enters the tomb before the stone is rolled away. I am the one who sits beside you in the ashes, not waiting for you to clean yourself up, but gently holding you until you remember you are more than your sorrow. When I say I'm lifting you from the shadows, it's not just poetic. It is divine reality. It is the reordering of your identity. I'm calling you by the name I gave you, not the name life tried to tattoo across your soul. You are not unworthy. You are mine. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being restored. You are not forgotten. You are etched into my hands, and oh, the power in my hands. They are not hands that point in accusation. They are hands that held the nails, that calmed the storm, that touched lepers when others walked away, that lifted the dead back to life. Those hands now rest on your life, not to push you down, but to lift you up. Yes, I am lifting you. From depression that feels endless, from anxiety that strangles your peace, from fear that has dictated your decisions, from shame that clings to your soul like a shadow you cannot outrun. But here's the truth. Shadows only exist when something is blocking the light. And I am removing every blockage. I am removing the bitterness. I am removing the comparison. I am removing the what-ifs and if-onlys. I am removing the lies spoken over you by others, and the ones you whispered to yourself in the middle of the night. Let me ask you something gently, as a father. Why do you fight to hold on to what I'm asking you to release? Why do you return to what I've already forgiven? Why do you listen more closely to your fears than to my voice? My child, your healing is not something you have to perform. It is something you receive. Your value is not something you must prove. It is something you were born with. And now I'm inviting you to walk again, differently this time. Not as someone crawling from pain, but as someone rising with purpose. When Lazarus came out of the tomb, he still had grave clothes wrapped around him, but he was alive. And I called out to those around him, "Unbind him and let him go." That is my word over you today. I am unbinding you from every memory that held you hostage, from every voice that silenced your song, from every chain that made you believe freedom was for others but not for you. You are not beyond repair. You are in the hands of the restorer. You are not abandoned. You are being carried. And yes, you are being lifted. Even now. Lifted from the judgment you placed on yourself. Lifted from the feeling of invisibility. Lifted from the weight of being strong for everyone else. You've worn strength like a mask, but I see through it. I see the tears behind your smile. I see the tiredness beneath your "I'm fine." And I say to you today, not in thunder, but in a whisper close to your soul, you don't have to carry it anymore. Let me be your strength. Let me speak to your future. You are not walking back into old patterns. You are not circling the same wilderness. You are not trapped in endless cycles of rise and fall. No, you are rising for good. Because this time, your roots are going deep. This time, your healing isn't temporary. It's eternal. This time, you won't just be comforted, you will be transformed. I'm not only lifting you from the shadows, I'm planting you in the light. And in that light you will blossom. You will love again. You will trust again. You will dream again. Not the small dreams of survival, but the bold dreams of one who knows they are backed by heaven. Listen to me carefully. I am not finished with you. There are still pages in your story that have yet to be written. You will not go out with a whimper. You will rise in strength, in clarity, in radiant purpose. And the very things the enemy used to shame you will become the platforms from which you proclaim freedom. I'm turning your mourning into dancing, not because the pain didn't matter, but because I've declared it has no power over your identity anymore. The shadow said, "Stay small." I say, "Shine brightly." The past said, "You're disqualified." I say, "You're chosen." The fear said, "You'll never change." I say, "You are already changing." And do you know why? Because I live in you. Because my spirit breathes through you. Because every morning you wake up, mercy is waiting, like a sunrise over your soul. So rise now, not just in posture but in purpose. Walk tall, knowing heaven is cheering. Walk brave, knowing I go before you. Walk soft, knowing love is your covering. Walk steady because I, your God, am lifting. You and I will not let go. You have never been too far gone. You have always been one breath away from breakthrough. And this is your moment. The shadows are trembling, the chains are falling, the lies are losing their grip. You are rising in the power of my light. My beloved, now that I've begun to lift you from the shadows, I want you to see what I see when I look at you. Not through the lens of your wounds, but through the clarity of my love. I see light. I see strength. I see beauty rising from ashes. I see potential wrapped in grace. The world may only see what's on the surface. People may remember you by your worst moment, or define you by your weakest chapter. But I do not. I remember every tear you cried when no one else was watching. I remember your silence when you chose peace over retaliation. I remember the times you showed up even when your soul was limping. I have counted your sleepless nights. I have treasured your whispered prayers. I have heard you when you said, "God, I don't know how much more I can take." And I came closer. Every time. Let me remind you, I am the lifter of heads. I am the healer of hearts. I am the God who meets you where you are but never leaves you there. When I lift you, it's not just for your survival. It's for your elevation. I'm not just removing the burden. I'm rebuilding the foundation, because I want you to be strong. Not the kind of strength that hides your pain, but the kind that is honest, courageous, and rooted in me. So let's rebuild now. Let's begin with your identity. You are not the sum of your failures. You are not the echo of someone else's rejection. You are not what they called you in anger. You are not defined by the relationship that ended, the opportunity that slipped away, or the words you wish you could take back. You are defined by my word, and my word over you is this: redeemed, chosen, precious. You are the child I fight for, the one I whisper to in the stillness, the one I carry when the road gets too steep, and the one I will never abandon. I am lifting you from the shadow of self-condemnation. Let's talk about that voice in your mind, the one that says, You should have done better. The one that plays old mistakes on repeat. The one that convinces you you're always falling short. That voice is not from me. My voice brings clarity, not confusion, conviction, not shame, hope, not despair. When I correct, I also embrace. When I call you higher, I give you wings. When I ask you to leave something behind, I give you something better in return. So today, release the narrative that says, I'm not enough. You are not only enough, you are exactly who I need for this moment in time. The world needs your voice, your kindness, your resilience, your story. You are not disqualified. You are being set apart. Now let's talk about relationships. Those shadows that linger from people who walked away or failed to love you well. I know the sting of betrayal, the ache of abandonment. I know what it does to your trust, your confidence, your ability to receive love again. But hear me, child. I am restoring what was damaged. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table, and I will help you discern that. But don't let the failures of a few convince you that you are unlovable. I made you for connection, for laughter that shakes your soul, for conversations that awaken your spirit, for friendships that reflect the loyalty of heaven. And I will bring the right ones, people who see you, value you, and love you. Not despite your journey, but because of it. Let me lift you now from the shadow of fear. Fear of failure, fear of the future, fear of not being enough, fear that what's ahead will only repeat what's behind. Child, I am in your future already. I have walked through the days you haven't seen yet, and I am not afraid. I don't make plans based on probabilities. I create possibilities. I don't base your tomorrow on your yesterday. I write new mercies every morning. So come out from that shadow. Let your decisions be guided by faith, not fear. Let your words speak life, not doubt. Let your steps be bold, even if they tremble. You do not need to have it all figured out. You only need to take the next step. I will meet you there. I will walk with you. I will hold you up when your legs get tired. I will speak peace over your panic and grace over your guilt. Now look at your hands, they are still useful. Your life is still meaningful. The enemy tried to silence you, but I'm giving you your voice back. A voice that says, I survived. A voice that says, I am still becoming. A voice that says, my story is not over. Let me say this plainly. The shame that haunted you is losing its power. You don't belong in that prison anymore. I am the door, and I am holding it open. Step through. Step into light that warms, not burns. Step into love that heals, not hurts. Step into purpose that fits you like a garment woven by my hand. Yes, the journey will still have battles, but now you know you're not alone. Now you know the shadows no longer define you. Now you know you are being lifted, and when I lift you, I don't just restore, I renew. Not just what was lost, but who you are becoming. My beloved child, as this message draws to a close, I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale my peace. Exhale your fear. For in this sacred space between my words and your heart, healing is happening. Right now. Even if you don't feel it yet, trust that I am already at work within you. I am not only lifting the weight of yesterday, I am redefining tomorrow. You are not bound to repeat the pain you've known. You are not destined to dwell in old stories. I am rewriting the ending. I am turning the very things that hurt you into the very things that will heal others through you. Look at your hands. They may be tired, but they are still open. Look at your heart. It may be bruised, but it is still beating. Look at your eyes. They may have cried, but they are still seeking light. You are not as lost as you think. In fact, you are right where I can reach you most easily, because you finally surrendered the illusion of control and opened yourself to me. And that is where transformation begins. No matter how many times you've fallen, I have never stopped reaching for you. I have never grown weary of your prayers. I have never stopped believing in the beauty I planted inside your soul. You may have believed that your light was gone, but I've been guarding it gently, keeping it safe through every storm, and now I'm fanning that flame again. You are stepping out of the shadow. You are rising into my promise. You are not just being lifted, you are being reborn. Let me say this plainly, so that your soul remembers, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are mine. And everything the enemy tried to use to break you, I will now use to bless you. Everything you thought disqualified you, I will turn into evidence of my grace. Every scar on your heart, I will make radiant with purpose. So don't be afraid of your own healing. Don't resist the light, just because you've grown used to the dark. Let me in. Let me love you all the way through. I know how to lead you. I know how to restore you, and I will, because my promises aren't based on your perfection. They are anchored in my character. I am faithful, I am near, I am powerful, and I am wildly in love with your soul. My child, you don't have to prove anything to me. You don't have to earn my presence. Just stay close. When you're tired, I'll carry you. When you're confused, I'll clarify. When you're grieving, I'll comfort. When you're uncertain, I'll hold your hand through the fog. Every step forward is a testimony. Every breath you take in surrender is a victory. And every time you choose love instead of fear, hope instead of despair, you are saying yes to being lifted into a new life. And I will not let you fall. Now walk forward with your head lifted high. Not in pride, but in peace. Not in fear, but in faith. You are no longer defined by the weight of yesterday. You are now defined by the light I have placed within you. So go. Be the proof that restoration is real. That joy is possible. That grace changes everything. And when the voices return, whispering lies of shame, guilt, or doubt, remember what I have spoken today. I am lifting you from the shadows of yesterday. I am redeeming what you thought was lost. I am not finished with you. I'm just getting started. I am with you always, and I love you more than you will ever fully comprehend. Forever and faithfully, I am.